Yo, welcome back to the Saturday Hoop Podcast. Yo, I got something special for y'all right now. You see this man sitting right here. First of all, I want to say that y'all know Saturday Hoop. Like, I'm looking for people that's the embodiment of Saturday Hoop. Like, you're not just going out on the weekends, spending your money, doing things like, yeah, you can have fun, live a little. I believe in that. But, like, if you work hard, you got to play hard, right? But if you're not putting in the work, then why play hard? This is a man right here that is the embodiment of Saturday Hoop. Everything we stand for, going out, grinding for your goals, past that organization you work for. You work for that organization 9 to 5, it don't mean you have to give up on your goals. This is a man he's a DJ, he's a barber, he's got a clothing line, he's physically fit. Like, this is my man right here, Darnell, for your growth. Gomez, right here, my boy. Welcome to the Saturday Hoop Podcast, bro. It's good to have you on, bro.
I appreciate it, man. Real stuff.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
So I want you to get into. I just want you to let my viewers know like a little about you, like what you do and things like that.
So I'm Dominican. I was born in Dominican Republic, La Romana to be exact. I was born there. Basically raised with my grandma. Came to the U.S. I lived in the DMV area mainly.
Okay.
Montgomery County, PG County.
PG County. Okay, I was thinking of this. I know.
Yeah. Landover Hills. Rockville.
Yeah.
Gaithersburg area. So, and then I've also lived in Florida. Once I joined the military, I first got stationed in Lejeune. Then I went to Cali, traveled around a little bit, but I'm sure we'll get more into that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Tell us about For Your Growth. Tell us about For Your Growth. What's about?
For Your Growth is a brand that. So the funny part is, originally I did not want to base this off fitness. Why?
Right.
Because everybody has a brand in fitness.
Right.
So I was like, man, how can I come up with something that can actually reach out to people and impact in some way, somehow, and not necessarily be about fitness.
Right.
But then I kind of not fell to my face, but I kind of just realized, like, you know what? Unfortunately, like, this is kind of like the new trend.
Right.
So I have to, one way or another, get myself through that channel. So this was back in 2017. I was in Japan, in Fuji. I still remember to this day. I was in my room. It was a winter storm. Nobody could do anything. We was locked up. And then I was like, man, I really want to come up with a brand or something that can kind of like reach out to people. So I started doing sketches. I started doing sketches by myself. I didn't really reach out to nobody. And then when I felt good, I was like, yo, I need to reach out to like some of my close people.
Right.
And believe it or not, those people were the ones that I completely rejected of anything they had to say. Because this is what I came to terms with. I was like, man, like if I create a brand, if I create a logo, it should be about me and people should buy it because of me. Right. Why am I taking somebody else's opinion when this is what I like, what I represent?
Right.
Then it's not original.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because then it's like if I ask you, it's like, hey bro, what you think about my logo?
Right.
You're gonna be like, well, I don't know. It's kind of whack.
Twist on it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be like, hey, you know, that's really how you feel?
Yeah.
But I feel really good about it.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? Whatever. I take it upon myself to just maintain my simple logo, the name of my brand. Initially, it was FCK, You Grow, right? But then later on, I came to realize that can only attract a certain amount of people, right?
Yeah.
So back to 2017, I created a thing.
But let me interrupt you real quick.
Yeah.
Why was it FUCK?
So again, Fitness Avenue, right? Fitness channel.
Yeah.
So Fuck You Grow. I'm posting on my Instagram. And really what I was doing was a test to the people.
Right.
So I was like, oh, if I keep posting Fuck You Grow, Fuck You Grow, Fuck You Grow,
right,
they don't know that I'm working on a brand.
Yeah.
Right. Boom, I dropped the brand. The first month I made $5,000.
Right.
A little over $5,000.
Right.
The first month, right?
Right.
So that's why I decided to go with that name because it was catchy.
Yeah.
You know, people in the gym. I'm in the military.
Yeah.
You know, at the time, I'm low key blowing up on the social media.
Right.
So I'm like, yo, you know what? This is tight. They don't know I got something cooking.
Let me tell you a funny story, bro, about the. So instead of For Your Growth, it was Fuck You Grow, right?
Right.
So me and him got linked in a couple years back, and I seen him posting that, and two parts of my body don't grow in the gym, and it's my calves and my arms. So I'm doing biceps, and I'm like, nah, he right. Fuck you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Bro, I swear, I say it in my head every
And
time
you're
I
not
do
the only
biceps.
one.
I
You're not the only
swear,
one.
bro.
Yeah.
But so he changed it. So my fault, but continue, bro.
Yeah. So that's literally like why I did it, because I'm like, you know what, this could relate to people, you know. And I stemmed that really from like CT Fletcher, like
Yeah.
you know, he's in the gym like
Yeah.
grow motherfucker. Right. So I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of catchy. I like it. So I'm
Right.
kind of do my own little thing about it, right?
Right.
So that's where the
That's
fuck you
fire.
grow came from, right?
Right.
And I know it could relate to people because like my crowd is mainly military,
Right.
people that are in the gym, people
Right.
that are just, I guess, just trying to grow, period, right?
Right.
So I'm like, you
Fitness
know
is
what?
already a
I feel like
part.
this, everybody can relate to it.
Indeed.
Again, in the background, I'm working on this brand,
Right.
right? So I'm like, okay, tight. I see how people are reacting to it. So I waited about a year,
Right.
right? Come back to the States after I leave Japan, Fuji, then I get I get orders to Bahrain, right?
Yeah,
So
that's
I'm
fire. Yeah.
getting ready to go to Bahrain. I'm still working on my brand, trying to
Right.
work on this military lifestyle, right? Boom, I get to Bahrain, 2018 August. I launched it. I set up my own website. I went on YouTube. I went on Google, um, and I figured out how to do it basically on my own. Shout out Javi if he's watching this. He's the one that really like put me on game on how to go about it, create my own, right?
Right.
So I did my own little research. I did everything. You
Right.
would think like you go to my website and you probably think like, oh, this looks pretty like somebody kind of like what experience
Right.
did this. No, the reason why I wanted to do it is because it's kind of like when you build something from the ground up, you got to know every avenue of it, right?
Indeed.
You can't just be like, oh, because then what if I need to change something in my website? I'm gonna have to
Right.
come back and pay this person again.
Right.
So I was like, nah, I'm gonna do everything on my own. The
Right.
brand, the the shirts, the hoodies, the designs, the website designing, the logo,
Right.
everything I did it on
So
my own.
nobody could fail you.
Exactly.
There's no excuses about
Yeah.
that. Right.
And when I did the math, like the most basic way to go about it, right? It really depends, varies, but I saw myself spending at least a rack to 2 racks on this stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Trying to go to like the right resources and whatnot with quality people, quality stuff, right? Anyways, um, I got to Bahrain and I dropped the first stuff. And mind you, back then my social media was like trendy.
Yeah.
I would always hit the algorithm.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
everything was popping.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh dang, this is tight.
Yeah.
And then when you start seeing that money in Shopify, you're like, bro, you go to work, you're like, why am I even here, bro?
Yeah.
This is only on my brand only, right?
Right.
So I'm like, damn, this is really nice, man. Like, this is really nice, and I feel like I'm actually doing something by
Right.
impacting people.
Right.
You know, people are sending me and tagging me, "Fuck you, grow."
Yeah.
You know, tagging the brand. So I'm
Yeah.
like, this is tight, right? So that's really what FYG. That's how it came about. Um, Now, few relate the slogan, right? Few relate. That's just believe it or not, this stems from the Marine Corps.
Right.
So the few, the proud, the
Yep.
Marines, right?
Yep.
So I'm like,
Indeed.
few relate.
Yep.
I'm like, I'm gonna make this my slogan, right? Because only few relate to a certain type of growth, right?
Indeed.
I've gone through a lot. You know, we all got our own stories.
Yes,
I'm not gonna
sir.
sit here and like, but we all got our own stories, and we all come from different parts. Like I'm Dominican. I know where I came from. You know, I used to like run around barefoot and in underwear, and like I was the happiest little kid ever. Just wear like a carton board, pretending like it
Yep.
was a car.
Yeah,
You
man.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm sure you could relate
I
some
grew up
way
in a
somehow.
Bronx. There's nothing but Dominicans and Puerto Ricans. So
Exactly. So
indeed.
you kind of understand, man.
Yeah.
And growing up in the yard, being in that poverty, like to you, the littlest things was what made you most happy because
Right.
that's what you knew.
Right.
Right. Like now that we're a lot older, like we look back and we're like, damn, bro, like we were dead broke.
Right.
But I was happy then. That was normal to me.
Mhm.
Those little things, right?
Right.
So that and along with like the relationship with my father, the relationship with my siblings, the relationship with just friendships, period. Like I bounced around a lot. I went to
Right.
like 3 different elementary schools. I went to like 3 different middle schools. I went to like 5 different high
Yeah.
schools. So it's like I was always up and moving.
Right.
So like even when I joined the military, it wasn't like something completely of
Right.
a new lifestyle to
Right.
kind of move around and learn something new.
Mhm.
You know, that was all normal to me.
Right.
But a lot of that compiled what FYG became about.
Yeah.
And it's still like, I'm still developing it, still trying to make better quality.
Right.
Um, and
So
that's
would you
pretty much it.
so would you say the uncomfortability that you experienced in life, combined like growing up, the uncomfortability, including like the moments where you had to create your own happiness, that those two things came together and created the fuel that pushes you as a grown man, right?
Yes. And once I was old enough to understand how people can relate to some of the same things that I've endured,
Right.
that's another main reason why this brand has uh, pretty much came about in order for somebody else to realize, like, hey, look, and it ties in a lot of things, right? And
Right.
I know a lot of people do a lot of other brands and stuff, but this is just my little piece to the world. Like,
Right.
hey, look, you're not alone. Again, I was gonna say this ties into like suicide.
Right.
It's okay to like be down, like, and unfortunately, man, like, and this is something I'm sure we'll get into. Um, you have to feel, you have to touch, you have to know what the bottom feels like.
Oh,
When
indeed,
you've
bro.
had it, when you've
Indeed.
had some of the things,
Yes,
you
sir.
have to fall. And that's something nobody wants to face.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's kind of like God asking for your attention. When God wants your attention, He's
Right.
gonna
Oh
get it.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah. When you straying from the path,
Oh
he
yeah.
gonna put you back on that path. Or
Sometimes you don't even know you were straying from the path. But
indeed.
little by little, as things kind of like spiral down, you're like, God, is that you? Like, this gotta be you. Like, okay, like, where we going with this? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And then boom, you hit the bottom and you're like, yo, I swear on everything that I am, every being of me, I will never be in this position again.
Yo, you speaking facts,
You get what
bro.
I'm saying?
You speaking
You
facts.
have to feel that. And that's what FYG is about. And there's
Yeah.
another reason why I went from fuck you go to for your growth,
For your growth.
right? Because you have to know what that feels like when you comprehend.
Yup.
You're an adult and you're adult enough and mature enough to understand, like, all right, I know what this floor feels like. I
Yup.
swore to everything that I am,
Yup.
I will never be back here
Hmm.
again. You
Right.
get what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
That's crazy because you said you created FYG the same year I created Saturday Hoop.
yep.
And it's like we here now, like everything comes full circle, and then like I tried to fall astray from God's path, and then
Hmm.
I got back on,
Yep.
and then like we meet, and then like 3 years later, now we sitting here. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? It's like it's crazy how things work out. So you got for your growth, uh, and I love it. I love the concept. Like I said, I was in there,
Yeah.
I was in there doing the concept, like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. So I love the concept, and I'm always the one, the advocate to be like my journey. Is to show people that like you could do it. Like yeah,
Hmm.
I was this low.
Hmm.
Like you'll never know. Like if you don't talk to me, you'll never know how low I've been. You'll
Exactly.
just assume, right?
That's
Like
why the beginning of the conversation, the beginning of the podcast, before we hit record, you're like, oh, we don't have to go too deep. Like, nah, people need to hear that, bro.
indeed,
You know what I'm saying?
indeed,
Because
indeed.
that's when they can relate.
Facts.
They can feel that genuineness, and that's my sole goal. Like, I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect human being in any way,
Right.
shape, or form.
Right.
But I know that if I share what I gotta say, I
Hmm.
know somebody's out there listening. Whether if it's one person, two people,
Hmm.
but I know somebody's gonna relate and be like, "Damn, bro,
Hmm.
I know exactly what he's talking about because this is
Right.
what I'm going through right now."
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. I, bro, I fucks with that, bro. So like let's transition now, right? So we got the motivational piece, right? Because for your growth is a motivational learning piece, and it's also about growth is creating. Speaking of creating, like you're also an artist in
Mm-hmm.
your own right, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you're not making music the way I do,
Right.
but you making music. How did you get into DJing? How did that come about?
So actually, not to correct you, but I'm gonna correct you.
Uh oh.
So I actually do make music too.
Oh, we getting in the studio, bro.
because
When you
because
come
so
back.
because you got to remember, like, I grew. So it's something I should share, right? I grew the way that music came through my life or about my life was because, number one, I grew up in the church, right?
Ah, okay.
So since I grew up in the church, my dad was originally the one that would put my brother, my sister, uh, he had us there
Yeah,
in the band.
yeah.
So like, I know how to play all types of percussion. I know how to play the drums. I know how to play the keyboard. I can mess around with the guitar, but I'm not really there.
Right.
But the one that stood out to me the most was the keyboard because it's so touching,
Mm-hmm.
right? The melody, the notes,
Yep.
the highs and the lows.
Yep.
That's really what stood out to me. And I thank God that He gave me the gift of being able to play by ear.
Yeah.
I don't know how to read notes, and that's because of the
Yeah.
church.
Yeah.
So being there,
So much music going on in there.
yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
my dad was also a singer. Like my dad would go to like weddings and stuff, and when he had like his difficulties with my stepmom, he would take me along to his events with his band, right? Like weddings and
Mm-hmm.
birthdays and
Mm-hmm.
whatever occasion, right? And I would just sit there. And to me, it was normal to watch my dad sing and like watching the band play.
Right.
So music has been a real big
It's
part
been
of
a
me,
bar-
right?
Damn, bro. We
When
more
I get
similar than you think.
when I get to high school,
Yeah.
when I get to high school in Montgomery County, Rockville, Richmond, Montgomery, I meet some homies that like to do the music stuff too. And also Quinn Central
Right.
High School.
Right.
Shout outs pass. These guys like, they're like making music and I'm like, dang, I can't rap. I got a heavy ass accent,
Right.
and it's not that I really care, but it's just like it's not my specialty, right?
Right.
I'm not, but I was like, you know what? I'm really into the music thing. I want to know how can I make a beat,
Mm.
right? And that's when I got into like Fruity Loops
Yeah.
and like Logic Pro. Like Logic Pro is my main thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I use. I use Logic Pro, Logic X, and that's really what how the music thing came about. Now, when it comes to the DJing thing, right? It's funny. Like I've always like sometimes I'm like driving
Yeah.
or I'm like I'm out and about, I'm some gathering or whatever, and we're bumping music or even like in the club, right?
Right.
Um, and in my head I can think of like other songs,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like what to mix next with, and like,
Yep.
man, this song would sound so much better with this if he would have mixed that with that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what, man? Um, uh, I went. So it's funny because like I've only been doing DJing for like a solid month, 1 month, right? I messed around with Uptown, my boy Uptown, Nick. He began DJing here in San Diego
Mm-hmm.
since like the pandemic, right? We had this. Long story short, he put me on game what to buy and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So I went for him for some advice. He gave me what I needed to hear. I went and did my research, went to the Guitar Center, and then I bought me a controller. And the DJ thing, the reason why I wanted to do it is because number one, I'm not, believe it or not, I don't remember the last time that I looked up Drake in my Spotify to play Drake in my car.
Right.
Or like just regular, right?
Right.
I'm really into Afro beats. I'm a piano, and I'm talking about like Wizkid back in the day, like
Right.
when Afro beats is not what it is now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I've been in the Marine Corps over 12 and a half years now.
Damn.
Right? And I got about 7.5 to go.
Yeah.
Right? That is
Yes,
the
sir.
goal. That is the intent as
Yes,
of
sir.
right now, as of today, right? But I've been all over the world and I've seen the type of musics and I've seen the type of vibes, right?
Yes, sir.
When people listen to music as a language, right? When you
Indeed.
listen to music, it's talking to you spiritually without you even noticing, right?
Yes, sir.
Which you actually have to be really careful about because this stems back to like Lucifer.
Mm-hmm.
Lucifer was God's most precious angel,
Mm-hmm.
right? He was the best, like from my knowledge of the Bible, he was more like the best like artist, like
Yep.
instruments.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had like the most beautiful voice. I think
Yep.
it says it on there. I might be wrong, but I just knew that music was like
But that was the influence.
Lucifer's thing, right?
Right.
But eventually, like like the Bible says, he grew like starting to feel like, yo, why? Like I need the praise,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So God eventually throws him down to earth, and hey, this is your world. You do what you want with it, and whatever else you're gonna do after that, right?
Right.
So the reason I bring that up is because like I had this constant battle with my spirituality of like, okay, God, like I want to do music, and I
Yeah.
know that most of the music is not gonna be, I guess, Christian,
Yeah.
right?
Nah,
But
yeah.
again, it's a language, right?
Right.
What my intent behind DJing is to make people feel good. And how
Mhm.
can I do that? Well, I play tunes, Afro beats, things that really speak to like
Yeah.
you, right?
Yeah.
And that's something you can vibe with anywhere in the world. And that's
Right.
my main goal with
Right.
this. I want to be international with it,
Right.
right? So since I have so many people in so many different parts of the world, Bahrain, Abu Dhabi, um, Europe, France, Spain, right? I have homies all over the place.
Right.
So it wouldn't be as tough to kind of go there for a little bit, live,
Right.
get in the realm of things, and then like boom, I'm gonna leave my seed, right?
Right.
Go to another country, so on and
Right.
so forth, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So, but let me tell you, the reason why, another reason why I got into DJing is because, well, I already enjoy the music. So, not that I'm a money fiend, but money is the tool to freedom. Freedom is what the actual goal is to life, right?
Right.
So I was like, you know what? If I can enjoy Afro beats and I'm a piano, which is another genre, right? Why not DJ? And then I get paid to be there, and
Right.
I'm on the
I'm
ox.
enjoying it.
Give me the
And
ox.
then
I'm on the ox.
I'm providing the
Yeah.
I'm providing
You know?
the like
The
the energy,
exactly.
the influence. I'm providing the
Yes.
love, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm getting paid for it
Yes.
all in one.
Yep.
Bro, I feel me as an artist, so you know I feel the same way, and that's why like I ventured out
Mhm.
and I started doing like the last song I just released. It's an acoustic electric version. So
Okay.
like when I uploaded it, I didn't upload it as hip hop. I
Mhm.
uploaded it as alternative.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh man, like I just branched out real quick and
Yeah.
I didn't even know it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But like I didn't grow up on rap music.
Right.
I grew up. My mom's was a rapper, right?
Okay.
But I grew up on R&B. Michael Jackson was my
Yeah.
favorite artist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I grew up on everything else. I didn't start listening to rap music until I
Mhm.
was a grown man. My earliest encounter was rap. Like other than like what I would hear on the radio when somebody would play it, Eminem,
Mhm.
because that he's angry when and I was a misguided child, so like
Yeah.
Eminem, I related to that. And then Get Rich or Die Trying. First two Marshall Mathers LP, Get Rich or Die Trying. First
Mhm.
two albums I ever listened to.
Yeah.
The next time I listened to a full rap album was J. Cole.
Hey, look.
Dollar in the
The
Dream.
warm up. Let's
You
take
know what
it
I'm
back.
saying?
The warm up.
Like,
Hey, college dropout. Hey, listen.
yeah, bro.
Just like same thing with like Wiz Khalifa back in the day. Paper planes, or whatever the
Yeah,
heck it is.
bro.
Listen.
But it's good that you say branching out there, reaching everybody, and like going into the different countries and the different parts of the world. Like people need that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then like you got the add it with For Your Growth, and then you got the music. Like that's just that's what Saturday Who is like.
Yeah.
And then I said to my brother a couple months ago, I said I shouldn't be in nobody's club
Right.
unless I'm getting paid for
Exactly.
it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I mean, I have been back in the club once or twice,
And the thing
but
is, too,
unless
is
I'm getting paid for it.
exactly. And the thing is, like, at least for me, right? I'm sure you could relate, and a lot of people actually. Well, when I joined the military, you become at a very young age, straight out of high school, you become pretty independent for the most part. You get to experience life, you get to live a little, right? You get to party,
Yeah,
So I'm about to be 31 years old, and I feel like I already did, you know
yeah,
what I'm
you were
saying,
fast,
that
bro.
life, and I already not maxed out, but I already like had my fun.
Yeah,
Now it's like, okay, I can still
it's
have
that
fun,
time. Yeah,
but now I'm gonna get paid to have fun.
yeah. I'm
You get what I'm saying?
I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do
Exactly.
me. Nah, I fucks with that, bro.
Yeah, and I want to do it again internationally, man, because
Hmm.
it's just a bigger spectrum and
So you telling me I gotta do a couple Afro beat songs so I
100%, 100%, 100%, 100%,
Facts, bro. Nah.
100%. They gonna hear you and they're friends. I'm like, who is this? Shimmy, yeah,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yeah.
So, all right. So you got the For Your Growth. You got the DJing. Now, where does the barber where does that come into how did that come into play? I see you. I see your post. I think you got really good, really fast, and I watched you in the shop.
Yeah,
Shout out to Clutch, by the way. Those are
yeah,
his products right there. So I watched you in the shop, and I watched you grind. Like I'm watching you grind. And it's like you one vehicle, but you're on three different highways right here. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
And if you in a traffic jam at one, then you going 75, 80 on the other one. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Which is I think is so good and it's talented. And all of them are ran like all of the businesses that you have going, like they're all for people. Like you know what I'm
Exactly,
saying?
and that's
It's Rico Suave right here. So now you see he's Suavecito, you know what I'm saying? So like, now you
so.
about to suave up other people. Like, where did that come into play, bro? What was the motivation for that? Like,
So Okay, I'm about to get a little deep here. So this all stems from God.
Okay.
The reason why I bring that up is because we are not of this world. One day we're gonna die, and there's a fate that you'll have to you'll be introduced to, right? I'm a Christian. I believe that there is a heaven and I believe there is a hell.
Amen.
So according to my beliefs, I'm trying to go to heaven,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So all of these things that I've been doing, um, and with more experience, life experiences, the more that I learn, the more that I uh, get to involve myself with, I realize that what my true happiness is serving others,
Ah.
right? But how can I serve others and still kind of put the word of God in so
Right.
they can also be saved,
Mm.
right? That's how I get to interject. So if you notice, like even in my clothing, I
Right.
have little Bible verses.
Yeah.
I put them in there. I sneak them in there. Like this is my favorite one, 2 Corinthians 5:7, which is walk by faith, not by sight.
Right.
Right. And then the other one I really like is John 13:7. For you may not know what I'm doing now, but later on you'll understand.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So these are all things that really just come back to my beliefs.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Like not
Yes,
to
sir.
get too religious, but
Nah. They like you said, we need to get in. They need to hear that.
exactly. So
Right.
that really what it all boils down to. So okay, so my brand, right? My brand is just to push out, to keep people fit, to keep them motivated, and understand like, hey, look, this is part of growth. You
Right.
have to fall to your face, right?
Indeed.
In order to move to whatever it is that you want to do,
Yes, sir.
right? When it comes to the DJ thing, it's just me. Believe it or not, I strategically, uh, well, before I say that, I want to say this. I kind of made like a thing with God
Mm-hmm.
because again in spirituality I was battling with, and I was like, God, like if you allow me to be in that kind of stage, I will strategically spread your word,
Mm.
right? And I promise, and I'm trying to, I would hope I never fall in the trap of the industry. And that kind of
Yes.
reverts back to what I was trying to say about Lucifer and like, the devil, how he
And
uses
influence.
music
Yeah.
industry to heavily influence
Mm-hmm.
especially the younger generations that are like trying to get money quick and whatnot.
Right.
So I just I was like, man, God, like if you allow me to be on that stage internationally, I
I
will
want to spread your love
strategically
and
use
word. Yeah.
Afro beats and like I'm a piano
Mm-hmm.
and like sneak in there, and with the good vibes with my voice, what I can project. My goal is to like reach out as many as I can.
As you should.
Right. And
You
again,
should.
this all comes back to God, right?